What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 47 of The Climb here with Luzenak. Today, we're back. It's the middle of January, or rather, I suppose technically it's kind of towards the tail end of January. We have been busy in the transfer market, more busy than I really planned to be. We'll talk more about that in a second. But of course, last episode we left things with a win, 2 wins in a row, and there was a question over could we take that? Was there some momentum building? And I'm pleased to say the answer is a resounding yes. There is some momentum building, although it hasn't been smooth sailing by any means. We have, over the course of the last 5 league games, closed the gap on the teams above us. Unfortunately, it's not, as I've said, all been plain sailing. In fact, the first game we had, following on from that win against Nantes, was against Angers, a team just above the relegation zone, a team that we should be winning at home against them. We took the lead in the 52nd minute, Sesko with it. But then they just didn't really give up. They put up a fight. Todorov scored for them. And when it finished 1-1, it was an incredibly even game, as the match stats suggest in the bottom left. And, well, it was not ideal, but you know what? We avoided defeat. We didn't concede a ton, which for us is kind of slow progress, I suppose. And I was hoping that in the next game against Saint Etienne, we could, show a bit more promise. They were a team just in the top half of the table. So we need to be beating them, albeit away from home in the second half of the season to close the gap. And unfortunately, in this one, it finished 1-1. I don't know how it finished 1-1. We had 6 clear-cut chances and 3 half chances. We dominated the game. They scored early. Our only breakthrough came in the 60th minute via Lopez. And that was kind of that. A bit annoying, really. A game that we should have won. We had so many chances. We wasted a lot of opportunities. I suppose the only silver lining is Lopez got a goal, and Lopez has been in some really good goal-scoring form. In fact, I think in the last 4 league games, he has scored in every single one of them. We'll talk more about why that might have happened in a second, because we have been tinkering with things. But let's talk about the one defeat in this run of games, at least in the league. It came against Stade Brestois. It's Brest. Just call them Brest, Jack. It's easier for all of us. We lost this one 4-2. I'm not going to show the highlights for it. What I will say is Olawale was sent off in the 18th minute. When a player is sent off in the first half, it always leaves you with a bit of an uphill struggle. Kenneth, you let us down, mate, and it caused us all kinds of issues. We did get goals to Lopez and Sesko, so I suppose that's a silver lining of sorts. Sesko and Lopez developing a little bit of a partnership in the final third, which has been very nice to see. Ultimately, however, we shipped 4 goals. I wasn't going to turn into a blind panic about this result simply because of the red card. And it's probably a good job I didn't, because just a week later we took on Nîmes and we managed to win 3-1 in this game. They actually took the lead in this game in the 2nd minute, and I'm sat there panicking a little, although I stuck to my guns. I stuck to how I've been playing as of late. And it did work out in our favour. Lopez got us back into the game in the 28th minute. This man loves to score the opening goal of the game for us. Later on in the in the first half, Martinez scored an absolute screamer of a goal. Not because it was a thunderous long shot, but just because it was a really sexy kind of dribble inside by the Colombian winger, took it on his right foot, squeezed it in at the near post, made it 2-1 before half-time, and then not long later, Kene scored from a corner, if I'm not mistaken. It was a headed goal inside the penalty area, like a fox in the box. He struck. 3-1 it finished. A good little win, and well, in our other league game, after the winter break, which did precede this Nîmes game, we beat Sochaux 4-0. Yes, 4-0, everyone. Let's just take a moment to... We're dishing out spankings now. It's lovely. Kofi got us off to a flyer in this game. A really nice effort, kind of squeezed in at the far post, bent it in on his right foot. We then got another goal through Ari, and well, by half-time, it was 3-0. Kofi from the penalty spot, and 3-0 at half-time. I wasn't convinced we were looking at the same team that we've been watching recently. We got another goal in the second half. It was via Lopez. And at 4-0, you might think, oh, there's room for more here. Kofi decided to get sent off in the 60th minute. I mean, of course he did. Why wouldn't he get sent off in the 60th minute, you silly boy? So that did mean that we were down a man for the last 30 minutes. But even despite that, we defended well. We held on to our 3-goal lead. If we had managed to bottle that, I would have worried. And, well, Kofi I'm annoyed with, but equally I'm quite happy with how his development's going. He looks like such a good player now. You'll notice that his finishing really hasn't improved over the years, so right now I'm training him to go round the keeper. If you have a striker who has really good off the ball and composure, having the trait goes round the keeper can be a very, very good one to just help with their conversion rate. I'm hoping that's going to be the case, and you know what, while we're here, Kofi, we will praise you. Now, you might have noticed I did gloss over a couple of results. The French Cup is not a priority this year. Maybe it should have been for a route into Europe, but ultimately I wanted to focus on the league, so we played back-to-back rotated teams. The first game we squeezed through against Lorient, won on penalties. Lopez on off the bench to score in the 84th minute to take it to extra time. And yeah, we squeezed through. Unfortunately, against US Orléans, the Wasp team, yes, the team that we always seem to meet in this competition, who currently sit one division below us, they beat us 2-1, and it was not a particularly great result. I mean, did we play badly? I feel like we were a bit unfortunate. Am I fair to have that assessment? I'll allow you to decide. Yeah, it was just one of those games. You may notice a familiar name who scored in this game, though. Let's talk about him. Harvey Elliott, a player who we had on loan last year, has joined the club permanently. Yes, we managed to pick him up for 3.2 million. His contract was expiring at the end of the year. Signed from Liverpool. And, well, you might think, Jack, why are you signing a player like this? You've been talking about not needing to sign players. Look, I have made a couple of signings since we were last here. I may not have learnt my mistake, but I do feel like I've added lots of quality now. So what happened? What's changed? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Martinez, who scored that wonder goal, has had the Kahinde treatment. Lyon came in for him. They offered us £19.5 million, which for a player who had only been at the club a year and a half and we'd signed on a free was just too much money to refuse. I felt like we could reinvest that into other areas. He's actually been a pretty good performer for us this year, but if we just compare him to Harvey Elliott, I mean, you can see the head-to-head comparison here. Considering we signed Elliott for a fraction of the price, I felt like it was a pretty kind of simple like-for-like swap. And of course, the money we made from Martinez has allowed us just to improve one or two other areas in the pitch. One other notable departure is Campo, who has gone to Auxerre, of course, a player who we signed a couple of years ago. He was our record transfer at the time. Really hasn't impressed me this most recent year. So when Auxerre came in with a £3.2 million bid, I just decided to let him go. I felt like, you know, I guess to an extent Harvey Elliott covers both bases with both those players leaving. He's left-footed, Harvey Elliott, so he's good at cutting in from the right-hand side. Equally, Campo was just so poor this year, I wasn't really playing him. I didn't feel like I needed a straight replacement for him. A couple of loanings out which are worth mentioning. Wally Jonk has left. Of course, I talked about giving this guy first-team football, but he kept getting injured. There is a logic behind loaning him out, but bear with me. So we've loaned him out. And also Koyate, who I was quite excited about at the start of the year, but just with Simmons and Kene playing so well, he hasn't had the first-team football he wanted. We've loaned him out to Liège, or Standard Liège. I should include Standard. There's more teams than just one in Liège. I say that. Is Liège a city? Answers on a postcard. If you're from Belgium, please let me know. I do not know my Belgian geography, apparently. Either way, Koyate's a good player with a load of potential. I can't guarantee in the first-team football I think is going to see him develop, so it's worth loaning him out. One thing I totally forgot to mention, and I should have mentioned it earlier on really, is the fact that this year I did remove a lot of the lower leagues in France and add in a few of the top flights in and amongst us. So we've got Belgium, England, Holland, and Spain loaded. One kind of knock-on effect of all these changes is that our reserve team now play in a league, which is quite nice. If you don't know, a lot of the reserve teams in real life in French football play in the same pyramid. They just can't get promoted beyond a certain point. Because I've removed the leagues at which the reserve teams play from being playable, reserve team kind of games have actually been scheduled now. So we actually have a reserve league, everyone. And I mean, granted, these are the teams we're playing against. We're doing okay in it. I mean, can I just manage the reserve team instead? It seems like an easier job. Yeah, it's going pretty well. 117 goals for, 10 against. I want that job. Give me that job. That seems like a good little gig. You can see the goal scorers here as well. A few players who you may have noticed have actually been in the first team because I am looking to tutor them. Players like Brahim here, who generated a few years ago, was concerned about his injury proneness, but he's improved a hell of a lot, so I've kind of now got high hopes for him. Of course, Oliver Lionel, who we signed at the start of this year, is also featuring in the reserves and scoring a lot of goals. And also, Scottish viewers rejoice. James Connolly. He's not far away from an opportunity in the first team, I feel. Really good player. We signed from Toulouse Metropole a number of years ago. Has just developed a ton, kind of under the radar. I do have worries that his potential might limit his ability to improve much beyond what we've got here. But he's a pretty good squad player at this point. It's just a case of waiting for a few injuries to happen. Then he might get his time to shine. Anyway, I've talked about the players on the outs. We've actually signed some players, so I should probably talk about them. Not a whole host of new names coming in, but a few players of real quality. So Harvey Elliott joins us. I've talked about him. Just a super versatile attacking talent. I felt like we had one too many attacking midfielders. So with Martinez and Campo leaving, I wanted one player who could come in to kind of cover both of their roles within the team. I think Harvey Elliott does that and a little bit more. We then have Tomov, who is the reason that I've loaned out Wally Jonk, the South African player. When we compare the two of them head to head here, I think it's quite clear to say that Tomov is just exceptional. We've signed him from Manchester United for £2 million. He generated out Manchester United. They never gave him a chance in the first team. He's complained about lack of first team football there. He was forcing a move. We approached him on a pre-contract. He agreed to sign it for a measly £15 million. Unfortunately, he is out injured at the moment, but once he's fit, and I'm sorry to Valentino, but he will just replace Valentino. He is an exceptional goalkeeper. Really just crazy good, especially when it comes to his one-on-ones and reflexes, which is something that I think we do need in our team. We do get caught out in one-on-ones. Also, he's only 21. I am very excited about what Tomov can offer us. Just need to wait for him to get back from his injury and hope that this isn't like a long-term injury problem. You can see he has had problems here and there, but I don't know. When you can get an opportunity to sign a goalkeeper this good for £2 million, you don't really turn it down. And the last player we signed for £7.5 million is a player who I would have quite liked to have signed a little bit sooner. I feel like this could be the final piece in the puzzle. Alexander Huskaric. Wow. A Serbian international, 20 years old, only has just turned 20 a couple of months ago. What an exceptional player. Not a super pacey player in the wide areas, but incredibly technical, very good at just creating opportunities from nothing. His numbers playing for Red Star in Serbia have been absolutely superb. There is a question over, can those numbers translate into League? And well, that is a question that we are going to find out the answer to today. So in terms of the team, you will notice another player kind of peeking his head in. Marlon Adriano, we had him loaned out for the first half this year. I kind of wish I hadn't, because I feel like he's improved a lot and he's probably worthy of a shot in the first team. So whilst you could argue I've not learnt from my previous mistakes, because I am still rotating things around, I feel like the difference between the players we signed in the summer and the players we've signed now who are bedding in really is just the fact that they have so much quality. Like, these are players who come in and are probably in our top 5 best players in the team. I look at Tomov in goal. I look at Huskaric out on the left-hand side. I look at Harvey Elliott. Maybe he's the exception, but he's kind of that coverage player. But regardless, I feel like we're in a much stronger position. And in terms of those fees we've paid, you might have noticed we spent, about 13 million on these players. We sold Martinez and Campo for a combined 22.5 million, so it's some crazy profit made as well, which is only going to help the club. I did touch upon it kind of last episode about the fact we might need to sell 1 or 2 players. I'm hoping that with the dealings we've just done, it kind of solves the problem, at least in the immediate future. So in terms of team news today, Tomov is out injured. Unfortunately, Hayden is also having some issues. So with that in mind, it's going to be Serra who comes in. He's kind of just become our go-to backup left-back. I've not been wowed by his performances. He's not been that incredible for us. I would much rather have Hayden fit and ready, but he's had a few issues this year with injuries. This is the team that I'm actually playing with right now. So I alluded, you might remember, to the fact I have tweaked 1 or 2 things. These are some of the things I've changed. We are now playing a 4-2-3-1, and the shape is not too different with the 2 centre mids deeper, but we are now playing with complete wing backs on attack and inside forwards, and I've really been enjoying their interactions with each other in the wide area. I think it works a lot better than when we've been using wing backs and inverted wingers. And equally, you'll notice that Lopez is now playing as a shadow striker, everyone. Yes. And this is where he's been getting all of his goals from. I feel like he is a very good kind of supporting act. And actually, the movement he has off Sesko, who is on a complete forward on attack now, really works nicely. Of course, Sesko, I feel like he got slated in the comments when we first signed him. But I think the thing to note with Sesko is, as a complete forward, with all these incredibly technical, very quick players around him, he is phenomenal at holding up the play. He's got pretty good pace and acceleration, but his strength is superb. 15 passing, 15 heading, 14 first touch. He can dribble, he can finish. He's the jack of all trades, master of none. But actually, in a system like this, where we have got a lot of attacking talent working off him, the fact that he is so good kind of at winning the ball with his tackling, the fact he can pass the ball, the fact he can hold it up, it's just invaluable, and it really enables a lot of the players around him, which I think was a big contributor to the success against Sochaux. So anyway, where are we in the league right now? Well, I'll tell you where we are. We're in 12th, but we are only 3 points off Monaco in 6th. It is ridiculous how close the league is right now, and today we take on Bordeaux, who are in 5th. A win here, we would close the gap on them to 6 points. They have got a little bit of a cushion, you can see, to Monaco, so we want to eat into that today. But yeah, it is crazy tight throughout the whole of the mid-table. 1 win, and we can suddenly find ourselves in European contention. That's kind of been a bit of a shock to me, really, to look at the league table and realise how close everyone is to one another. I can't really work out what to attribute that to. I feel like it's just a fiercely competitive league, and there isn't a massive gulf in quality between the teams kind of in the middle of the pack, I suppose, in League 1. I do feel like we have the better quality, though. I do feel like we now have the quality with a few of the new additions, especially Huskaric, who is considered our key player out on the left-hand side to really make things happen for us. Now, you might have noticed with Huskaric coming in, that does mean that Kofi drops to the bench. I don't think that's the worst move in the world for Kofi. I see Kofi as this kind of super versatile plan B who we can bring on off the bench along with Julian Blaze and potentially Harvey Elliott and just terrorise teams with their pace. Anyway, looking at Bordeaux's team here, it doesn't look like too bad of a team. In fact, they've got a few players I recognise, like Sessignon. They've got this guy, Bofim, up top. How good are you? He's not too bad. I mean, how does he compare? How does he compare to Sesko? I hate to turn this into just a measuring contest, but this is how we're going to do things now. See, he's not as good in the air, not as good mentally, not as quick as Sesko. Let's see who wins the battle of the forwards. I don't know why this has become a battle of the... I'm just trying to make up a narrative here. Basically, I know that Sesko, for some of you, he needs to prove his worth. Sesko, just show the people what you're capable of. We've not shown what we're capable of in the last couple of games. Even last episode, I mean, the game against Nancy, yes, we won it 1-0. But the game was over after 3 minutes. Anyway, we do need to defend here. And this is a tough game, to be clear. Bordeaux, obviously, they're in the European spots. We're away from home against them, but with the tweaked system, I'm hoping we're going to be able to show just the quality that I do believe we possess. As Sesko gives it to Lopez, who hits it to hit the crossbar. No, the keeper... What an insane save by the keeper. That was it. That was nuts. Ari over it. What can you do, Ari? Whips it in. Marlon Adriano, the Brazilian, back from his loan spell. Welcome back, Marlon. Welcome. You might wonder, Jack, why did you loan him out to Brazil? Genuinely, I thought with Soleil coming in, with Mbaye So coming in, I felt like, you know what, I need to loan him out to get him first team football. He's gone on loan for 6 months, come back. It's like he's gone on I don't know, some kind of pilgrimage. He's reached enlightenment and come back to Lausanne to spread his wisdom. He's a very good player, as Sarah misses a header. Sarah, I really wish we had Hayden in at left back. Is that a good tackle? That was a good tackle. Who was that? I think it was Marsden. It was Marsden. I do wonder, I feel like Marsden and Adriano could be the back two this year. That is my theory for the second half of the season. We'll wait and see. I just feel like Soleil, Mbaye So, even Byrne to an extent, they've disappointed me. Sesko breaking through, no one in support, tight angle. I mean, players never score those in Football Manager. It wasn't even like he had an option to square it to be fair. Serra's bruised his ankle and wants to come up. I mean, Serra is that guy in your football team who just... I don't think he likes football. I think Serra plays football for the social aspect of it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we are a professional football team, Serra. Oh, my word. That was a little bit close to going in. Of course, Valentino in goal. I feel a bit sorry for him, because whilst Tomov's out injured, he obviously comes in and plays in goal. The reality is, as soon as Tomov is fit, he's gone. I'm just getting rid of him. He's just not of the same quality as Tomov we've signed for Manchester United. I think it's going to be really interesting, actually, to see if defensively we improve when Tomov comes in. Really, really excited to get him in for 2 million. Like, as I said, we approached him to sign him on a free transfer with 6 months left of his contract, then negotiated a buy now, and at 2 million, I wasn't going to say no. Oh, my word. Huskaric, what a run that was by the Serbian. He is making his debut today as well. That is worth mentioning. Signed for 7.5 million. That is not peanuts. As we've said, he's not a particularly quick player on the wings, but he's very technical. Lopez finding a way through. Oh, my word, Lopez. Oh, my word. What a beautiful finish that was. In off the post, at the near post. I'm sure the keeper will feel disappointed to get beaten there. But that finish was tremendous. Really nice play. I love Kene's switch here over to Ari, who wins a little header. Lopez running onto it as the shadow striker. And 11 finishing that. 11 finishing. I don't believe it. That is... absolutely insane. We're up to 9th, everyone. That's where we finished last year. The recovery mission. From a team who won, what was it, 2 games in 7? Maybe the recovery mission's underway, right? We can't get too complacent, though, as Lopez wins it. Lopez just looks insane as a shadow striker. It's like he's found his calling in life. Ari, I mean... I'll forgive you because you got the assist previously, but that is absolutely blooming awful, mate. And I think that deep down inside, he knows that was awful. He's like hit a fan in Rosette. 5 minutes left of the half. We're 2-0 up. We look pretty good. I mean, we've not had a whole lot of possession, but that's not really how we're playing anymore. At the start of the year, I felt like, yes, let's bring in all these ball-playing defenders. Let's dominate the ball. It hasn't really worked for us. So in kind of our quest, I suppose, to do a bit better as I piss off half the team, we have just gone more attacking rather than positive, and we're playing more direct. We're trying to get the ball forward quicker. I am going to just up the tempo just slightly here. I feel like we want to be direct and we want to move the ball around quickly, especially in the final third. As Ari picks it up, cutting inside as the inside forward. Where are you going, Ari? He has a shot. It's blocked. Bonus for us, Huskaric, who's dispossessed, and now it could be a one-on-one at the back. Marlon Adriano misses his tackle. Bopfheim goes through, and well, Sesko would have scored it. Sesko would have scored it. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Right, corner. Ari, where are you, Marlon Adriano? Oh, I tell you what, he's not there, but Barry Marsden is. It's 3-0, 2 corners we've scored from today. And it's the 2 centre-backs, the 2 players who I'm tipping maybe to hit it off at the back. The 2 players who I'm tipping. Maybe this is the start of something beautiful. Barry Marsden with his 2nd goal of the year. Ari pats his head. Not a conventional celebration that I can say I've seen in professional football, but 3-0 up away from home against Bordeaux. Serra with his little bruise is struggling a little. Let's bring in Kenneth Olawale. And you know what? I'm going to take off Huskaric. Do I want to take off Huskaric? Part of me does want to. Part of me wants to keep him on because it's his debut to show us what he's made of. You know what? I'm going to bring in Kofi for Sesko. And I'm going to bring in Harvey Elliott for Lopez, which is a bit of a weird one. If it was a 2-goal margin, I probably would just be taking off Huskaric here. But at 3 goals up, I feel confident about taking off Lopez and Sesko. And it gives a chance for Harvey Elliott to show us what he's made of as he brings the ball forward here. Can he thread through Kofi? The sub's linking up. Kofi, can you finish it? No, he can't. The sooner he can learn to run around a goalkeeper, the better, because I do feel like he has great composure. His pace and acceleration to find opportunities like that is superb. He just doesn't finish quite enough of them for my liking, Kofi. And in going around the keeper, that will solve that problem as far as I'm concerned. I mean, look at this game. Yes, it's not been a total landslide in our favour, but we have created a hell of a lot of opportunities. Huskaric here, we kept him on the pitch. He's hit the outside of the post. I love the attempted finish, to be fair. I mean, Ari's kept it alive. Galvez whips it back into the mixer. Huskaric has another go. He's having all the shots right now. The woodwork's denied him. Now the keeper's denied him. This could have been 4 quite easily. I feel like Bordeaux, yes, they have had the odd highlight here and there. They've not created a great deal going forward. Anyway, Elliott with the ball, and again, getting that out ball out to Kofi quite quickly, who uses his pace to break into the final third. Breaks past everyone. I mean, Kofi, I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Shrugged off 2 tackles, nearly went over, but his balance kept him up. His strength kept him going. And I'll hold my hands up and confess, thought he was just going to smash it into the side netting because it is Football Manager 2020. But actually, he squeezed it in at the near post. It's 4-0 against Bordeaux. See, the Sochaux result wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a fluke, everyone. We have turned a corner. The gelling has happened. We've tinkered with the system. I really like the complete wing-backs with the inside forwards. I feel like that's been a really good change in itself. I mean, look at us here. Siemens whipping it in. It's Siemens, not Simmons. I've been told about that. I'm going to say it correctly this once. If I ever call him Simmons, I'm sorry. It is Siemens, but it's hard to break a habit once you've started saying a name a certain way. Unfortunately, Vassi has ruined my day. He's got rid of our clean sheet. I was priding ourselves on our defensive record and how many times we'd kept clean sheets recently. Unfortunately, we've just lost it there. The good news is, it's still a 3-goal margin, but Olawale, I mean, the sooner Hayden is fit at left back, the better. We have liabilities at left back. It's shades of Liverpool where we had, Moreno at left back. It's the same situation. For some reason, Moreno's name escaped me. Oh my word, they've scored again. Don't panic, anyone, but it is 4-2, and I know how this season has played out for us. A corner whipped in by Lopez. Gudmundsson with the eventual finish. Vassi, who scored the first, shot from range. I don't know if Valentino could have done better in goal there. I think that's probably on the keeper. The sooner Tomov recovers from his torn wrist ligaments, the better. Anyway, good news is there's only 4 minutes left. The bad news is they have got a highlight. If they score here, I start to panic. I will say, at 4-1 up, I didn't go more defensive because I was like, job's done. You know, they're not going to score 3 goals in 10 minutes. If they score another here, albeit with 3 minutes left, I might just start to panic slightly. Right, I am panicking. I'll hold my hands up and say I am panicking at this point. Right, there is absolutely no time left. Just defend, but just defend. Just defend. It's 4-3. What's happening? Please, not like this, Football Manager. I'm hoping that this is a pointless highlight because I had the tactics screen open. There's a minute left and there's a highlight. If they score again, I will just cry. Not like this. Not like this. Ahmed hits it. Right. Relax. Relax. I think it's... Please be over. There's another... Stop it, football. Stop this right now. This is silly. Referee, blow the whistle. Blow that whistle, ref. We've gone from 4-0 up to me almost having a breakdown. Stop it. Good tackle. Good tackle. Simmons, put in another. That'll do. That'll do. Oh, ref, just blow the whistle. We don't need to take this free kick. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Just get it away. Away. Oh, no. Dubois is a mark to the far post. It's blocked. It's offside. Right, relax. We've got the win. We've got the win. Ooh. I mean, what have I just... I'm not happy. I mean, Harry's got a hat-trick of assists. Well done, mate. But ultimately, we've nearly bottled that in the most terrifying of... Let's ignore the last 10 minutes and focus on the fact we scored 4 against the team in 5th. And it was all because Olawale was at left-back anyway. If Hayden's there, we're fine. That's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. So Huskaric made his debut. It wasn't a debut to remember. He looked pretty good. He was involved in the play a hell of a lot. He had chances. Marlon Adriano, though, scoring on his return from his loan spell. I'm going to make him unavailable for loan. I mean, when you look at him, he should be a really, really good defender. And he is only 19. Super consistent. Obviously, we had him out on loan for the first half of the year. Just because I thought that all the new additions we had in at centre-back were going to be better than him. The truth be told, the likes of Mbaye, when we've given him a few opportunities, hasn't been great. Saleh, I look at and think, you might have been a massive waste of money because he is one of the highest earners at the club. His average ratings haven't been superb. But at the same time, he's a very, very good player. I just don't know if he justifies his wages. I mean, how does he compare with Marlon Adriano? Just for a bit of comparison, I feel like it's probably worth just comparing the two of them. So if we look at them here, Marlon Adriano, a better defender, nowhere near as good with the ball at his feet, but with us kind of abandoning this idea of playing super sexy football out from the back, I think Adriano and Marsden is probably the way to go. They're two pretty similar players, quite complementary, I think, to each other's style of play. Obviously, they both got goals in that game, and ultimately they were goals that really did make a difference when it finished 4-3. So yeah, with that result, we've climbed up the league a little bit. You can see how close it is here, though. There are a lot of teams battling it out. Our recent form has been good. That kind of result, even if it was slightly unconvincing in nature, is huge against a team like Bordeaux. They were in really good form prior to that result. You can see, in terms of in the league, they'd won their previous 4 games, only losing to Lyon since the start of December. So to beat them away from home is really, really big. Hopefully we're going to be able to build off that. If we just look at our schedule rather than Bordeaux's schedule, in terms of matches we've got coming up, we've got Lyon, which is going to be tough. Metz, Monaco, Lens, Marseille. I'm not doing Marseille again. I actually think next time we might come back for the game against Toulouse. They are one of our local rivals. We're in this weird kind of spell right now where the season really isn't decided how it's going to finish, and I feel like if we are going to need to do lots of live comms, it's going to be towards the end of the season where it's kind of a make or break moment in Europe. Whereas at least in the immediate future, it's going to be a little bit of kind of shuffling around. We're going to be moving up and down the league quite a lot with how close it is. I feel like by the time Toulouse rolls around, things are going to be a little more settled, after another 8 league games. And, with what will be 9 games left of the season, we should have a pretty good idea of where we are targeting, I suppose, towards the end of the year. But anyway, a good result. I'll let me know what you thought of the transfers. I can't English today, apparently. Tomov, I'm excited about. Let me know what you think of him as an addition, as well as the additions of Elliott and co. Obviously, I know the sale of Martinez is one of those ones which is perhaps going to raise some eyebrows, but ultimately, I just don't think he's a £20 million player. And I think we've taken that £20 million and invested it into 3 very, very good players who can definitely have a big impact on the second half of the season without kind of completely upsetting how we play and the squad as a whole. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. If you've enjoyed the video, please do drop a like on it. We'll be back again tomorrow with the game against Toulouse. I hope to see you guys then. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.